I like it, man. This is good Bakersfield energy. Got some people here look like they just got out of work. Like, hey, you guys are doing shit. Yeah, right? Is that your energy? You're like, yeah, I did just get out of work. I'm sorry, it's Friday, you know? I would have came here on Saturday, but it didn't work out that way. And this feels like you guys had a long 40 hours. Work, I feel that energy right now. I get it, I understand. What do you do for work? You look like you do something serious.
I'm still in high school.
You're in high school, all right. Well, it looks like it's rough out there. I'll say that. High school's tough, I get it. Man, I couldn't tell. I'm sorry, it's because of the, you know? I thought you were already on your second divorce. I thought you had kids going on at home. I didn't know, I apologize. It's a good thing. It's good to look more mature. You look more mature. I would like give you the keys to my car. Be like, can you park? Like that's a responsible person right there. He has a mortgage. He's trying to make sure to pay. It's been a long 18 years. I like. What's your name, man? Tyler. Make it loud for Tyler. He's in high school. So good to be here. Wow, that's a hot start to the show. Just came out, first person I talked to, completely insulted. I apologize so much. That is not my style of comedy. That's not what I do. I don't come out and go, did you ever notice this about yourself? You know? And I know that's hot right now. That's really hot right now in comedy. It's not really what I do. I try to just give compliments. Are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be all right? I just saw you holding your temples. I'm like, wow. This, I like it. It's a lot of speakers for comedy, isn't it? So, you know, after this, we got a Motley Crue cover band coming up here, and don't be more excited for that than me. I made that up. That's not gonna happen. You're getting me. Hot start, man. We just drove in today. Me and Rui, who you just saw, we came in last night. We had a show in San Francisco, and then we made that drive here. I don't know if you've ever made that drive, but good Lord. Yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to suicide. That is a long drive. Oh my God, and nothing in between. Nothing. You're like, as soon as you leave, you're like, get ready for this. It's straight and sad. Are you ready for no turns and sadness? Are you ready for that? Just 4.5 hours. Just, yep, there it is. And people trying to pass you? For what? Oh, is your exit next? Are you? Is that what it is? You live in this field of nothing? Is that? What are you passing me for? We should all be pegged at 80, and that should be it. What are you late for work? Calm down. It's us and a bunch of truckers. That's all it is. You're late on the laugh. I like it. I like it. Everyone's a little off in this room. A lot of people, I feel it. Some of you get a check in the mail. I like it. Some people get a check in the mail to hang out. It's good. I'm looking at your faces. There's still some I got to win over. I can tell. We're doing our best out there. It's hard. We got 2 cats out there in New York. We got a couple cats. Yeah, Jessica lives with my ex-wife. I'm sorry to say. Sorry, I just made everybody sad. All right. And by everybody, I mean these 4 people and those people just staring at me going, we don't care about your cats. And I like that mixture. I love Jessica too. She's doing wonderful. She's still chubby and unhealthy, and she still eats whatever she wants. She lives at my ex-wife's house. You want me to say Jessica? Is that what you want? There it is. All right. I like that. Thank you. Okay. That was the most uncomfortable thing I think I've ever had happen. I don't know if you ever had someone down there. I want you to say Jessica. Jessica. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm not a part of this. I apologize. You're a good dude. What grade are you in high school? You're a junior in high school. You got one more, and then hell yeah. All right. Do you already know what you're doing after high school? What's your plan?
Game warden.
Game warden?
For fishing game.
fishing game? I know what that is. Whoa, dude. I'm telling you, I wasn't wrong. You got the heart and soul of a 45-year-old man. I like it, though. Thank you. Thank you for being out there and gaming and warding. Yeah? We need that. We need more young people involved in fish and game. I'm sure that was a program they had in middle school where they're like, who's interested in fish and game? And everyone's like, no. And he's like, actually, I want that hat.
I have no idea how serious you are about that.
I felt like everything I've said, he's like, yeah, absolutely. I can feel it.
35 at 17.
I love it. That's good. It's good to be an old soul. I was like that too. Now it's kind of leveled out, where I'm still an old soul, but I still don't own a house, so it's weird. It's weird to be an old soul and a renter, where you're like, the landlord should fix that. Should get in here. That faucet's a little loose. That's good. I'm happy for you. Do some fishing and gaming and warding.
He's an 18-year-old snitch.
He's an 18-year-old snitch?
Yeah.
That's a weird. All right, I don't know why. Listen, we're all on your side. Everything's fine. We clearly get what happened. You grew up a wild child at 18, and you ended up with the kid that's like, I'm following all the rules. Because every kid rebels against their parents. That's normal. So if you got a parent that was like, woo, where's the party at? You're like, I'm studying. I gotta wake up tomorrow. You were partying. You had young Sheldon at home, is what you had. Fish and game version. Hell yeah. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching my video. Is this too close? We're keeping it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to be on tour all year, 2024. Might be the last one. So, go to zoltancomedy.com, look at the tour schedule. If you don't see your town, sign up for my mailing list. I promise I'm going to try to come, and I'll see you out there on the road. Yeah, I like it. Man, are you comfortable? You got your foot right on the stage. I like that. That's the confidence I want. I want to put my foot on a stage. That is some primo, and I can tell you're kind of tall. You have the build for putting a foot on a stage. I like it. I like it. How is everybody? Yeah. Seattle on a Saturday night. It's happening. It's really, yeah. It was a beautiful day, and right at the end, they're like, how about some rain? This is a little too nice for Seattle. People are gonna forget where they are for a second. Because that's the look of the local Seattle person, just a little damp all the time. Everyone looks like they just walked through a puddle. A little bit, just a little damp. I've realized Seattle has two kinds of people, and it's the same look. It's a look of intensity of like, I'm gonna go change the world, or just another look of like, I tried, it didn't work out. Like, add in dampness, just a little wet and a little, kind of the feeling here in Seattle. I love it. I love this street. This street, I think, sums up Seattle perfectly. Like right now, we're performing at a comedy club that used to be a strip club, And okay, all right. I feel like you wish it still was, all right? You're like, does it turn into one? No, no. Not with me up here. I don't have the confidence, all right? I have the type of body confidence that if I go to a hotel pool and there's someone there with abs, I leave that hotel, all right? I actually think I think in-shape people should have certain times they should be allowed at the pool. Like a community pool, they have adult swim, and then they have kids swim, and then they have people training for the Olympics. They should have that for people with abs, all right? You're allowed to go to the pool between this time, and the rest is for us flabby people, Some people that have a misshaped nipple or something, we can go feel comfortable. So I can feel comfortable at the hotel pool taking my shirt off with that, just bam, bam, just right there with all those abs. My fiance's here. I don't appreciate how I'm feeling in this situation. She's pretending not to look. I'm pretending not to see that she can look. Come later, But yeah, this will not be a strip club. That was the point of all of that. But you can still feel it in the walls that used to happen here. That's why this dude has his foot on the stage. You're like, I think this used to be a strip club. That foot, that's the spot I used to put it when it was. You can feel it, man. Everyone on this stage has one or is about to get a therapist, you know? It's a little mixture of the two. I like it. It's on the street. Yeah, the building next door used to be a place where Ted Bundy used to pick people up to do Ted Bundy things to them. I don't know if you knew that. I feel like I just slipped you in on some local information. And former strip club, Ted Bundy, and then there's just the cat sanctuary right next door. It's the most Seattle thing ever. Just a mixture of, yeah. Those are all the sounds of Seattle, just wrapped up into one. I love this city, man. This is the only city where I walk around and 10 times throughout the day I'll be like, what's he doing? It's the only city I go to where I'm like, what is that person doing right now? And I'm seemingly the only one that's interested. Like yesterday, I saw a dude smoke, he just stopped and sat in a bush and smoked a cigarette next to a preschool playground. And I'm the only one that took a look. There was a park bench, and he's like, nope, right here. And and there's kids somersaulting right on the other side of a chain link fence. And I just walked by, and I'm like, what's he doing? And everyone else is like, why don't you mind your business, all right? I feel like that's a lot of Seattle. Just people just doing weird stuff, and everyone else going, why are you judging? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm noticing. I'm documenting in my brain. That's all. I'm not telling him to stop. That's good for the kids' lungs, you know? Get them tough for the next one. Anyway, it's very nice to be here. I had a good time, went downtown, hopped on your light rail, which I love. I love it. Keeps extending. Every time I come, it's a little further. They add another neighborhood I've never heard of. It's like, do you want to get up to Northgate? And you're like, maybe. All right. I feel like next time I'm going to come up, Vancouver. We made it all the way to Vancouver. You're like, oh, I thought the Amtrak went there. You're like, yeah, but do you want it to take longer? You know, hop on this one. I like how you guys run your light rail, too. It's clearly on the honor system. And you can buy a ticket, you can, or you can just get on. It's so weird. That's the first place I see when I land at SeaTac. I get in, and then they test my integrity. As soon as I land, they're like, would you like to pay $5, or do you just want to get on? That's, you know, that's Seattle right there. Like, let's see where you stand, you know? I'd pay for the ticket because I don't want the awkwardness. I hate the awkwardness. Like if a cop asked me and I'd go, I didn't know I'd see you. Yeah. I didn't know you'd be here. Tried to save a few bucks with the old inflation. Yeah. I love it. I love your city. It's been a wild week, man. We finally got an end to the war. We got a winner to the war. You know? Yeah. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard figured out that battle. I was wondering, I'm like, is that war going to end before the Ukraine one? And it did not. Man, that court thing like really showed America's attention span. We were all in, support Ukraine, we stand with Ukraine. And then Johnny Depp and Amber Heard came out, we're like, put a sock in it, Ukraine, all right? Need to figure out what happens with this pirate, all right? If he wins, we get another movie. If he loses, we got to rewatch an old movie. I don't know about you guys. I watched every episode of that court case. I watched every episode, and I think they're getting back together. I think some people are meant for each other. I think some people are perfectly equally toxic, and they're supposed to be with each other. They're meant for each other. Like one of them, you know, is a little bit drunk. The other one takes a dump in a bed. I think that works. They just need to work on themselves a little. Johnny Depp may need to go to rehab. Amber Heard may need a litter box. Like, I think we can find common ground solutions here. Keep it together, man. You know what the main thing I liked about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is that he's cool all the time. That's not an act. He always dresses like that. He always looks like a pirate. And I think it's very important to pick your look, you know, because you're going to have to wear that look for a long time, you know? Like, I think when he picked his look, he's like, I'm not going to live that long, you know? I'm going to be able to just dress like a pirate that's going to court for the rest of my life. But then he made it to the age he made it to, and he starts to wake up in the morning like, damn it, I'm still alive? All right. Put on my hat with a feather, and I'm 62 years old. Why am I still doing this? That's why you gotta, don't pick a look you can't stick with, you know? That's why I used to have long hair, and I cut it, because I realized I had a look, and I'm like, I don't want to do this look in 30 more years. My hairline's already receding. I don't want to look like Gallagher, you know? Just 8 feet of forehead and some hair going on in the back. So I cut it off, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look like I sell insurance for a few more years, and then after that, shave it, you know? Look like that dude right there. That's me in 10 more years. And you're wearing a t-shirt with a hammer on it that says, "This is not a drill." I love it. Have you ever had a moment where you see yourself from the future and you're like, that's exactly who I'm gonna be? Because I know your exact thought process when you put that shirt on. You're like, we're going to comedy, huh? And that's me. That's me to a T. Oh, man. I love it. I like meeting myself from the future.
You're all here to see him. I've known him. He's one of my oldest friends in comedy. I've known him for 17 years. I'm so glad to see how well he's doing. I've loved him. I will always love him. Give it up for the very funny Zoltan Kaszas, everyone.
Some excitement. Yay! Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I love it. You guys are trying, but it is Wednesday, isn't it? You can't fight it. You feel it in your bones. You're like, yeah, what is missing? Oh my God, there's still 2 more days left before fun happens. I forgot about that. One more time for Rui and Billy. Make it loud for them. I like that. I love that introduction. I love him, and I will always love him. And he just made eye contact. That's who he is in the back, by the way. He just goes, yeah, man, did you know about the He's like my smartest, dumbest sounding friend. I don't know if anyone has that in your friend circle where you're like, wait, what'd you just say? And then you Google it, and you're like, are you a genius? He's like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. He's like Boomhauer from King of the Hill, where it's just like ramblings, but every once in a while we're like, wait a second, did you just solve a problem? What was, I don't know, man, sometimes I just... But I love that dude. He watched me punch a guy in the face once, so that was fun. Yeah, I've only punched one guy in the head, and he was there for it. And, but it was a sucker punch. I waited till he wasn't looking at me, and then It's a street fight. We're not fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. This was outside a bar, and he cornered me. And then after we got in the car, Billy didn't say anything to me. He just goes, man, that guy was real big. I was like, oh my God, he was big. He's like, yeah, I can't believe you did that. I love that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for showing up on a Wednesday. I really appreciate it. A lot of, and it rained. Honestly, they told me the show was sold out, and I'm like, yeah, but it rained, so we'll see if it's really sold out. Because, this is Southern California. I saw the rain, and I'm like, do we have to go do the show? I'm a fair weather. I like postcard weather. That's when I leave the house. When I see it's wet, you can't drive in that. I drive up from San Diego up here, and it's just, I don't know what, California roads are, made out of what they make urinals out of. Where it's like the liquid hits it and it just sprays up instead of soaking it in, and you're like, first of all, why would you make urinals that way? because my pants are here. But why would you make roads that way? We got it, and it's just and I don't drive well in it. I'm not one of those people like, yeah, no one knows how to drive. I'm part of the problem. Something happens when the sun goes down and it starts raining. We're like, where did the lanes go? And then my car still sees the lanes. They're like, they're right there, buddy. Everything's fine. I'm like, I don't see them. And I can never get the wipers at the right pace. Like, it never rains at the intensity. I need intermediate settings. You know, like the delay settings where they're like, do you mean bwomp bwomp? Or do you mean bwomp bwomp? And I'm like, in between that. That's the one I need. And it's never right. It's always like, that's too many droplets. That's too many droplets. And then it's like, how about now? And you're like, no. That's why I don't do the intermediate. I keep my finger right on it, and I'm like, now! 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 Like, that's... The machines have never figured it out. I need manual control. That's who I am. Don't even get me started on automatic windows, all right? They go too fast or too slow. I'm looking for something a little cooler. Give me a hand crank. Yeah, that was a drive, man. I always love coming up here because it's I know people have picked on Ontario so far tonight. I'm not here to pick on your town, all right? But it is an in-between town, okay? It's in between because there's a lot of people that live here, and there's a lot of people headed to Vegas, and there's a lot of people headed to Palm Springs, and then some people were like, we're living here. So it's just a mixture. And that's why it's crazy, because they mixed the 15 and the 10, and then there's the 91, and people were like, I don't know! And it's a mess out there. Because I've been coming to this club for a long time. I have a lot of history at this club. I was once heckled by a gang member that was sitting right around there, and he had an eye patch. I'll never forget this. He had an eye patch, and not like one you get at a hospital. This was like a pirate's eye patch. And I was like, what happened to your eye? And I shouldn't ask that, apparently. I thought that was a fair question to ask, because that's like a pirate's eye patch. I don't think they hand that out at the emergency room. You know, they give you like a proper look, and he just had a pirate's eye patch. And I'm like, what's up with the eye? And he just started yelling, and he got up and doing gang signals. And I was like, oh. I'm like, is that what happened to the eye? Like, was it gang related? And I was like, please get me off this stage. I've had terrifying moments. I got a concussion at this comedy club. I was beat up by two professional wrestlers. Back in 2009, they were trying to shoot like a demo for a TV show, like an Extreme Gong Show type of thing. And then, so I was supposed to come up as a comedian. And like the idea was that we do poorly and these wrestlers scare us off. And so the first two comedians did poorly, and the wrestlers came up, scared them off. And then I was like, I'm not gonna suck. Like I was supposed to. I'm like, I saw a packed crowd. I don't get to perform in front of packed crowds. And I was like 21, and I'm like, I'm gonna do good. And then so I went on stage, and it's going good. And then the wrestlers come to kick me off, and the crowd was like, what? We like him. But they had to stick to the script, and they threw a chair in my face. And I'm here to tell you, it's not fake. All right, it wasn't a magic chair. They went to Home Depot before. It had the receipt still on it. It came flying. He hit me so hard, snot flew out of my nose, and I wasn't sick. So this came from like, I didn't just get over a cold. I had not been sick for many months. This came like deep in my sinuses, and it just went, rah! And I remember I was on the ground right there, and there was a lady right where you are, and it just went, gross! And I was like... And then they picked me up and they put me on a table, and then Rob Van Dam picked up a man named Sabu and dropped him on me. And what a disaster. That was my first concussion. And I didn't know that. I didn't know, concussions, we know about concussions now. This is 2009, when like the NFL was fun, and like... You could like drill a quarterback, and people were like, kill him. People were into that, and so they definitely weren't going to care about a comedian. So I've had a lot of history in this mall, gangbang, got some concussions. It's been good. That's why I'm like, yeah, we're doing it. And you guys are like, it's Wednesday. Why don't you calm down? I don't know. I guess that's the day and age where this is the only choices you have. You either like focus on yourself or you watch the news and go on social media. And I'm like, I'll just focus on this storm. And, every time I turn on the news, the planes are falling out of the sky, and I'm like, that's how I do work. I don't know what happened to planes. What happened to planes in the last month? Planes are like, I don't know. And they're like, what? How do you know? They've been flying so good for 100 years, and they're like, we forgot. And that helicopter's like, up? No. And then... I know, it's scary to talk about. I got a flight on Friday, all right? So I'm thinking about it. I'm looking out there, because sometimes you're flying and you see another plane, and you're like, where's that one going? Is that one coming? Hey! Just do a U-turn, man. You don't need to cut over all these lanes of traffic. But those are the two options you have. That's where we are at life. Like, I don't know, I hung out with my friends at the Super Bowl, and I don't know. I can't tell if they're sad or just 37. But my friends just have like this unshakable sadness to them that I think I have too. And we're just like, how's it going? They're like, pretty good. Pretty good. Taking the boat out next week. And you're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, that should be happy, right? And they're like, yeah, I'm having a great time. And I'm like, oh my God, am I looking at myself? Like, do you ever catch a reflection of yourself you're not ready for? Like, you just like a quick one, you're like, whoa, oh, that person's oh, that's me. All right. Like that shocking reflection, you're like, man, warn me next time you're gonna show me myself. I had to pee too. I had to pull over on the 405 and pee when everyone was doing 7 miles an hour, which... It's so bad. It sucks. We've all been there. You don't have time to pull over because then the roads right off the interstate are also backed up. So if you pull over to pee at like a Starbucks, you got to buy some. They're going to have to give you a code. Then you're going to have to go back. What was it? 3578? 3578? Hey, look at me. Is it 3578? My teeth are floating here, buddy. We got to be on the same page. And then you got to run back and do that, and then you got to get back in the car and then wait in 7 mile an hour to get back onto the interstate to do less speed. And then I'm like, I'm just going to urinate on the interstate. And it's such a vulnerable feeling to just be on the interstate. And I open the door, like, yeah, that'll give me some privacy. So I'm just peeing behind my own door. And I'm like, yep, this is adulthood, And it's slow enough that I could hear, like, someone rolled down their window and went, ugh! And I'm like, man, you got wet a little to yell that. Because there's an atmospheric river out there. I've never had to put on a raincoat to go pee before, but I had my little hood on. I was wet. It was all from the rain. I have impeccable aim in all the elements. I like it. This room is everything in this mall is too big for what this town is. Including the size of your comedy club. You're like, we need 500 seats. It's like, calm down, all right? What's the other thing you got going on? The Strawberry Festival? Calm down. It's too much mall. It's too much comedy club. Let's reel it in. I do like your Strawberry Festival. I remember I lived in LA for a short time, and my buddy grew up in Camarillo, and he was like, buddy, I'm going to take you to the Strawberry Festival. I'm like, what's that? And he goes, dude, we go over there, we drink, we smoke in the parking lot, and then we eat a bunch of strawberries. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. And then we did all those things, and we went in, and I'm like, oh yeah, but there's kids. I don't know why that didn't cross my mind that this would be a family event. I was 21. Remember being dumb at 21? And you're like, yeah, we're going to get all messed up and just plow strawberries on a Saturday afternoon. And then there's just kids on like strawberry-shaped seesaws. And they're wearing strawberry hats. And I'm like, you didn't tell me there's going to be kids here. And he's like, yeah, what'd you think? I don't like being messed up around children. I feel weird because I always like, anytime I'm like a little off kilter and then there's kids around, I always want to be like, stay in school, you know, like something. And you don't need to say that. You don't need to say that. But.
Hello, this is Zoltan Kaszas, and the year is 2025. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing? If you were just sent in from the past to the future, and this is how you're finding out the year, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. What the hell am I talking about? The point of this is I am on tour all year. It's what I do. A bunch of cities. I'm very excited to hit them all. If you'd like to see if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. There also might be a link in this video, maybe right over my eyes. I don't know what the editor is going to do with this. It could be in the description, what have you. But if it's not, zoltancomedy.com. Hit the shows tab, go down the list of shows, see if I'm coming to a town near you, and come see me so I can continue being a comedian and I don't have to go get a job where I'm a horrible employee. I've been told many times by numerous bosses. So please come out and see me and keep the dream alive.
I took a driving school class here, like when I was learning to drive. It was taught by a trucker who, I loved it. That was my favorite part, is when I got old enough to where teachers didn't have to be certified. You know what I mean? Like, all throughout your childhood, those teachers are rigorously like certified to make sure they know what they're doing. And then you get to high school and they just kind of quit. You know? Like, most of them are, but then you get some teachers who are like, let me tell you about the government. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, this is an ROP program. All right. This is why he loves wood. He hates society. All right? Starting to put the pieces together. I had a woodshop teacher in high school that, like, you ever meet someone who none of their dreams come true? So now they're like stuck at a job and they never let anyone forget it? That was my woodshop teacher. I had a woodshop teacher in high school. His name was Mr. Brent. And he was pretty regular amongst other things. Like, he had all his fingers. Like, he wasn't one of those guys. You know, he was like, oh, he's missing a hand. No, he had all his stuff. But he was missing most of his heart. Like, he was missing like a part or section. He was a hateful man. I think he had goals and dreams, none of it worked out. Or maybe he just loved wood, but he realized he couldn't make a living with wood without teaching it to humans. And so he was just pissed all the time. And of course, woodshop's a stoner class. That's a class you take where you're like, I'm done, I finished that algebra, and now I need to fill my schedule, I'm working wood. That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyone take woodshop here? Clap it up. Cool. Nice. Do you work in wood today? Of course. Because no one did. Does anyone work in wood currently? Is anyone running a mantle clock shop as we speak? Just busting out mantle clocks. Anyone making Adirondack chairs to pay the rent? Anyone doing that? No, because it's not a real job. Maybe it was one day, but that shit's made in China, and Mr. Brand couldn't let go. So he's like, and I kind of thought about him, you know, I'm sure he's in high school making a mantle clock. He's like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And then he graduated, and they're like, that doesn't, what? Like, you might as well have just said you wanted to be The Rock. Like, that's not going to happen. And he's like, well, you can teach these stoner kids that don't want to be in school. And he's like, damn it. And so that's where he was. He would just yell at us constantly. I remember one day he lost it on us, and he just went around the room, and he asked each of us what our dream was, and then he told us why we wouldn't make it. I know that sounds like I just made that up out of thin air. That was a real thing that happened my junior year of high school, and it was one of my favorite moments of school, because it was this moment where he was just being brutally honest with us, and he went around the room. He started with this kid, Brock. I went to the school. This kid, Brock, he was like pretty much like the Spicoli of our high school. He loved to surf. He had cool long hair, and he loved surfing. And he's like, what are you going to do with your life, Brock? And Brock was like, I want to be a professional surfer. And he's like, oh yeah? Well, have you already won any national championships? Because Kelly Slater won 2 national championships before he was even 15. You haven't done that? That means you're never going to make it. And you should realize that now before it's too late. And Brock's just like, what the hell? Like, you can see tears welling up in his eyes. Everyone in class is like, what the hell's happening? I'm dying laughing. Because, like, I can't believe this is happening outside of a movie, you know? Then I went to the next person, what do you want to be? I want to be a writer, Mr. Brown. You can't even read. Are you kidding me? Like, he just destroyed every student going down. And I'm dying laughing. This is the most entertaining thing that's ever happened in my 4 years at San Marcos High School. And then it comes to me, because he sees me laughing. He goes, Zoltan, what the hell are you laughing about? And I go, this is beautiful. That's all I could get at. I'm like, this is beautiful. And he goes, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I want to be a woodshop teacher like you, Mr. Brown. And there was a pause, and then he just kicked me out of class. And I had to go to the office and explain what happened. And I explained it, of course, my way. You know, what happened? He asked me what I wanted to do with my life. And then what'd you say? I said I wanted to be a woodshop teacher like he was, and he kicked me out of class. And the principal, who I think knew how I meant it, but couldn't admit it, because then we're both admitting that guy's a loser, just had to go, oh, we all have bad days.
Hey, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, review, leave a comment. Join the page if you'd like to support monetarily. But what's more important than all of those things is live comedy is back. I'm back on the road. I have upcoming shows in San Diego, Seattle, Salt Lake City, Indianapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. If you want to keep up with all of these, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, sign up for my mailing list, and I'll just email you where I'm going to be. That's simple enough. Cheers, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Everyone's excited?
For you.
What's that?
I grew my hair out for you.
Well, that's a horrible mistake. What a mistake. I cut mine. I kind of like it. I used to look like Jesus, now I look like Sid from Toy Story. I'm taking the look, man. I look like I destroy toys. Give me an erector set and a Barbie doll, I will ruin a child's weekend.
Are we rolling?
You're chewing like a cow.
Am I chewing like a cow? Here's what I do with my gum. I put it in the front, so it makes me look like a country bumpkin. Got a little bit of dip up in the front lip, a little tobacco juice.
I'm chewing like a cow too.
Oh yeah. Put a pause on that, sweetheart, while we're making video magic over here. Right now, driving over here yonder on 8, heading east, going to Phoenix. Right now is the part of the drive I like to call the treadmill. You see, you're moving. You can tell you're moving. GPS says you're moving. Speedometer's pegged at 80, but everything's looking the same, like you're on a treadmill. You're moving, but you ain't.
It's nice to be out here. I drove out here. I drove from San Diego in my Honda Fit. It's not the car you want to drive through the desert, but I did it, man. People respect you. Everyone else is in something cool, something lifted, and you're like, oh, all right, groceries? You getting some? You're going real far to get some groceries. Just riding that Fit, baby. Yeah. It's nice. I drove because I usually fly. I love to fly because it's quicker. Quicker is better all the time. But I'm scared to fly right now, not even for the virus. Like, I'll wear the mask, but sometimes people won't, and you're just not going to get where you're going. How many times have you seen that on the news? Some dude who wore a mask through security, through the airport, bought a Starbucks, and then as soon as he sits down, goes, no mas. It's over. And people are like, dude, we're on our way to the thing we're going to. No, you're not. Or the people that wait till it's like in midair and they're like, to hell with this! And then they gotta turn around, so I was afraid that was gonna happen. And I was gonna miss my shows.
Look at that. Another good way to make enemies out here. Old boy yonder just did it to me. You pull out and you mess up my cruise control. Got my cruise control set here at 80 mph, and you pull in front, and I gotta shut off my cruise control. You're as good as dead to me, partner. you got some automobile issues. I'm not going to be pulling over, helping you with my AAA card. It's over. Cut off.
This is the last show of the weekend, and this has been great for me because I live in San Diego, where this is highly illegal. This is not allowed at all. If you want to find a comedy show in San Diego, you'd have an easier time finding an illegal cockfighting ring. Like you'd have a better time going, hey, is there some dogfighting we can go bet on? Is that around? To find a comedy show in San Diego, you have to know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, and they'll text you something or slip a letter under your door. They're like, meet at the park at noon, and you're like, all right. And then we'll try to put on a show. But here, it's just happening. It's just going. Arizona never followed the rules, and you guys aren't starting now. You put your foot down first on, what was that, daylight savings time? What is it, the rest of the world does it, or something? The rest of the world. There's people in Ecuador going, would spring forward? And people in Arizona going, we are doing none of that. It is the same time all the time here. This is Arizona. So I'm not surprised you guys are treating this all the same. It's good. It's just surprising because I haven't done comedy indoors in so long. I was just like, how's this going to work? Is it going to be normal? Is it going to be whatever? Is it going to be, what's going to happen? I walk up the ball and then I look and there's an axe throwing thing. And I'm like, well, if that's going on, I'm pretty sure they'll let me tell jokes inside. That was the best over there. Yesterday was the first show. I came in, I watched the dude throw an axe. He still had the mask on. He has the mask on. He's like, I don't want to catch COVID. Watch out, honey! And he's throwing medieval weaponry through the air. Hammered, by the way. A bucket of Bud Lights right next to him. Just fucking sharp steel through a business. But he's still like, and I was like, well, pick one. And I'm not knocking on anyone who's trying to be safe. Be safe. But also, maybe don't throw an axe. It's contradicting ideals right there.
We're here in the Sahara Desert. I'm kidding, it's just Glamis. So, there's white trash right over there. This is great. I don't know how sand dunes came to be. While we were driving up here, I said, I think this means that this used to be the ocean, but I don't know that for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys in the four-wheelers just brought all this sand out from all the liberal beaches. I'll be honest with you guys, I usually get a tank of gas anytime it goes down to half a tank. There's my Honda Fit right there. Right there. But I didn't do it. Now we're at less than half a tank of gas. And I'm trying to keep this in my heart, but there's a genuine fear that what happened in that movie, The Hills Have Eyes, will happen here. I mean, if there are going to be mutants that are going to come out and attack us because we ran out of gas, this is the setting. And I feel like they're going to come out of right there.
So I brought my girlfriend and we made a weekend out of it. It was fun. We stopped in Glamis to go to the sand dunes. I don't know if anyone's ever gone to the sand dunes. It's really nice. It's very picturesque. It's a long drive to go to, if you don't have a dune buggy or a dirt bike, you're really wasting your time out there, man. I thought there was going to be more to it, but it's just, it's a beach without water. That's what it is. And if you don't have stuff to enjoy the sand, you're just standing there going, oh, okay, all right. Have we taken a selfie facing that way yet? Let's do that. You get all your selfies done in 7 minutes, and then you spend another 7 minutes just going, you good? Yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Worth it.
Here is exciting. My girlfriend grew up in Toronto, and she's been in the States for a few years, but she's never really been to Arizona. She's like, what's Arizona like? I was trying to explain it to her on the long drive. And I was like, like this, kind of like that. And then we pulled up at the hotel. I'm staying at a hotel. I don't want to give my hotel away, but it's there's a Cabela's in front of it. Just you know, in case anyone hates the show and wants to kill me later, you're gonna have to pass the Cabela's. And then I'm trying to explain to her what Arizona's like, and as we pull up to the hotel we're staying at, there's like 50 motorcycles parked out front with a motorcycle gang just hanging out there. I'm like, it's like this. I think this is what it's like. And I didn't know what was going on, but I told this story at the first show and someone yelled out, it's bike week. Yeah, it's bike week, which I'm like, well, what a great time to bring Zoltan into town. It's bike week. We got motorcycle gangs from all over hanging out. Hey, where's that one comedian that tells cat jokes? Get his ass in here. We need to drum up some business. So I'm pulling into a parking lot with 50 motorcycles and 50 bikers and a Honda Fit, just like... And I park and I turn to my girlfriend, I'm like, play it cool. And she's like, ow. I'm like, I'm not sure. But I just smiled a lot. You know, that's all I do when I'm nervous. I'm still wearing my mask, but they can tell from the crinkles in my eyes. Everything good? And I was looking at the bikers' patches. I was trying, because I watch a lot of Gangland. I know what to look out for. I would have said 1%, we're staying at the Ramada. We ain't staying here. I was trying to eyeball their patches. I couldn't quite make a sense of it. And all I kept seeing was they were all from the same group, and they were called the Choir Boys. And at first I'm like, oh. But then I'm like, well, what if it's ironic? And so I was like, man, what if they're like, because they spell the S with a Z, it's boys. And I'm like, I don't like that. So I did the responsible thing once I checked into my room, read on Wikipedia, what the hell are the Choir Boys? Turns out, they are a fundraising organization of bikers, and they raise money for the family members of fallen police officers. So they're good. They do a great thing. That's awesome. Don't judge a book by its cover. And once I read that, I turned to my girlfriend. I'm like, it's all right. They're just old Boy Scouts. That's all they are. It's just, they got a different uniform and a different mode of transportation. There's just some old Boy Scouts out there doing good stuff. It's a good lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover. They might look terrifying, but they might just be raising money for good. Yeah. Although they did have a party last night where it looked pretty scary out at the pool. I was still looking out there, I'm like, no, they're still bikers. Like they're raising money, but they're also raising hell. Look at that.
Going on a hike. Glendale, Arizona, because we got, you know, you can only walk around the mall for so long. So we looked up all trails, and they said this one's moderate. Which, who says it's moderate? Is it a guy like me, or is it a guy with all quads? Of course you can say hi.
Hi.
That's Emma. No last name given. Keep your anonymity.
Keep me on DL.
On the DL. When you're a Steelers shirt.
It's not mine.
It's mine. Are you a big Steelers fan?
I don't watch sports.
There you have it, folks. That's him. We just met a shirtless guy on a hike. Every hike has a shirtless guy. And every shirtless guy on a hike looks like he hasn't taken his shirt off in about 13 years. Farmer's tan all up and over. And I'm not making fun of him, that's me. That's why I keep my shirt on. Because I don't want to be a shirtless guy on a hike. Is he still back there? You gotta whisper, because your voice echoes out here in the wilderness. And then you can just run back and kill us. I wanna be on Netflix, not for being murdered.
Yeah, we just passed a running guy on a hike. Every hike always has a guy running on it for no reason, even though the terrain says, please don't run, you're gonna trip all your teeth. There's always a guy running. Just to make your workout seem like less of a workout, there's always someone doing just a little bit more. Oh, every hike, without fail. Shirtless guy and running guy. Sometimes it's the same guy. Sometimes I get to the top of the hike and there's someone that looks like they shouldn't be able to make it up here, and they're up there. And you're panting and they look okay. You're like, what? Did you Uber a helicopter up here? How'd you pull this off? Here we are at the summit. Not really. There's more to go. I don't even know if you can call this a summit. It's more of a hill than a mountain, but it's hot, so it makes it feel like a mountain. I'm here next to this old cactus. Look at that. It's real Arizona. Actually, this isn't real Arizona. That American flag up on the hill, that's real Arizona. We'll get a better shot of that in a few more minutes. We made it to the top of Mount Everest, Arizona. I don't know what the name of this mountain is, but here's the flag I was talking about earlier. Amongst all this nature, Arizona is really patriotic. This is making me feel patriotic, to be honest with you. This is why my mom immigrated from Budapest, Hungary to the great United States. So her firstborn son can perform at a mall and on his time off, hike up to the top of a hill overlooking a freeway to talk next to Old Glory and breathe heavily.
So much has changed. It's been crazy. Debates, I watched the debates. I watched the boring one this week. Wasn't it nice to watch a boring debate? Yeah, great. It made me feel nostalgic. Yeah. Halfway through, I'm like, it was boring as hell until a fly showed up. It was the most exciting part of the debates. A fly showed up. It's like if you imagine watching it with someone from the future and they're like, dude, can we change the channel? And the dude from the future's like, just wait. There's gonna be a fly coming in here. And it's gonna be the most exciting part of it. It was nice to just have a boring debate, you know? Like I've been watching, I was disappointed in the first debate because I was so excited for it. Because I've been watching sports without a crowd. And has anyone else been trying to enjoy that? It's hard, isn't it? We're trying. I got a fantasy football team. I'm trying, but man, it's not the same. It's kind of like watching a T-ball game, but none of the kids are yours. You know, you're just like, yeah. Just try harder. I feel like you're not playing hard. I just have that feeling. They're like, I guess it just feels like the athletes didn't think a season was going to happen either. Everyone just showed up chubby. You know? Harden looked chubby in the NBA. He's like, what, we're playing? Oh, damn it. He had like a napkin in his jersey. He's like, oh. Thought it was buffet season. I didn't know we were playing. It's just weird. That's why I was excited for the debates. I'm like, oh, cool, we can watch some. But debates without a crowd, that sucked too. The debates without a crowd, it just looked like a Thanksgiving dinner where the family left the room to let the grandpas argue it out. That's what it looked like. That's what that first debate looked like. Like if they would have panned that hard camera to the left, they would have seen a full living room of just a family watching football going, are they still arguing over there? Which weird is.
Paying salute. Arizona might be the most patriotic state in the nation. They put a flag right here at the top. They could have put a giant cactus or a statue of Steve Nash, but they decided stars and stripes. Hell yeah, baby. I got that on video. You can see so much from up here. Look down there. There's Venice, Arizona. Those are the Venice canals. All natural. It's a natural golf course right in the middle there. It's where where the Inca used to play, I think back in the 1500s, I believe, before Columbus came over and fought the Spaniards for the Gulf lands. Somewhere up here you can see where the Cardinals play. Oh boy, it's so dry. Watch your step while you do. Just missed it. I just tripped. So hopefully Emma can catch it. We try to do it naturally, which happens quite a bit. I don't know, not some mountain goat. Whoa. Did my butt look cute?
I think so.
Nice. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
Zoltan can't multitask.
Are you
So
trash
he
talking?
asked me to film. He can't film, walk, and talk at the same time. He tried it and he tripped. So now he's like, hey, can you walk and film and not talk while I walk and try to talk?
What are you saying?
Nothing. Just talking to myself. Ain't that right?
Yep. What'd you say?
Nothing.
You're trash talking me so hard. Here we are, post hike, enjoying Chipotle. We are in strip mall heaven, or hell, however you look at it. So I knew wherever we were gonna eat, it was gonna be a chain. America. Although I gotta say, I haven't been to Chipotle since the last time I performed at this club, which was like a year and a half ago. They make decent food. You know, who am I, Anthony Bourdain with an educated tongue? No. I'm just me. I grew up in the trailer park on TV dinners. This is a delicacy.
But I don't want anyone to get disillusioned and think comedy is always like this, where I would come out and people are like, yeah, this is fun. You know, it's not always like that. There's years, many years, where you're performing and in your head, it's going so bad, you're just like, man, maybe I can still get a real job. Maybe that's still an option. I used to perform in colleges, you guys. In 2015, that was my first year of getting to be a full-time comedian, where I got to quit my day job and just do this, which is really, it took 9 years to get to that point, so it took a long-ass time. And I got to book all these colleges, and colleges pay well, right? Because they're selling those kids kind of an education, but also some entertainment, and that's where I come in. So I got booked to all these colleges, and some of the shows were good, and some of them were horrible. Most were pretty rough. But I remember one time I did a show in Pittsburgh at Washington Jefferson University, right outside of Pittsburgh. And I showed up in the small room, there's 10 kids there for the show. And I'm like, that's enough to have a show. The 10 is enough. But the girl that was running it was like, hey, can we wait a few more minutes? Because I think some more people are showing up. And I was like, sure. And we waited 10 minutes, and nobody else showed up, but those first 10 people left. So, the girl that was running the show, she was very sweet. She goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. And she's just like, here you go, here's your check. I guess we're not doing a show. And I went, never apologize for this. This is amazing. You just handed me a check, and I didn't have to perform for 10 18-year-olds. This is amazing. So I went back to the Marriott and got drunk. It was great. And so the next night, I'm at Penn State Harrisburg, and I walk into a similar situation. I walk in, it's like a big cafeteria type thing, like cafe, and there's a stage area about this size, and there's no one sitting here. And about like 50 yards away, there's like 3 students studying. They don't know about the show. They're in a different part of the building. They're so far away. And I walk in and I'm like, here we go. Hand me that check. I'm ready to order a drink at the Marriott. And then the girl comes up to me at that show and goes, well, we paid you. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she goes, well, go up there. And I'm like, there's nobody there. And she's like, all right. What? So I had to walk on stage in front of nobody and start doing this. I don't know if you know this, but you're an integral part of this. Like, honestly, for a second, take yourselves out of this room and leave me in it. I look like a lunatic. You guys are very important in this, but there's no one here. And I walk on stage, I'm like, oh my God. So I just start yelling to the 3 students studying, trying to chase their dreams. And I'm like, please stop chasing your goals and your wants and your needs in life, and please come up and listen to me do stand-up. And they kind of didn't want to, but I just kept yelling at them until they couldn't study any longer. And they did, and I got 3 students in front, and I'm starting to do the show. It's still just as horrible as you would imagine. There's 3 kids instead of none, so at least there's eyeballs to stare at me and judge harshly. And I'm doing my act, and about 15 minutes into my 60-minute set, one of the students gets up to leave. And as they're pushing the double doors open to leave, I go, what was it? Was it the cat jokes? Just trying to say anything, right? And he just looks at me, and he just goes, I just can't. And he pushes the doors open and walks out. Like, that kid left with a piece of my soul. Do you understand? Like, I still dream about him sometimes. And he did that 15 minutes in. I had 45 more minutes to do after that. And I just watched him leave with a piece of my soul. And I went back to the other kids and I'm like, comedy. And I wish I could lie to you guys and tell you it's the worst show that I've ever done. It's not. It's not. It just isn't, man. The worst show that I ever did was in my hometown in San Diego, California. I got hired to do a comedy club downtown. It was a private event. It was for a lady's 50th birthday party. And the way she was celebrating was she rented out the entire comedy club for her and her 9 friends. Yeah. And they sat in a row in a line, like a firing squad. And the comics just had to come up and just dance for her, pretty much. It was the closest I ever felt to being a court jester. Just like, just waiting for them to go yay or nay. Just waiting, like, am I gonna be killed? What's happening? So I show up to the club, I see this situation, I'm like, well, this looks like the worst. And they come up to me and they go, listen, you're going on last. You only have to do 10 minutes, and you'll know your time is up when you see the birthday cake coming up the side, and that's when you're just gonna start singing happy birthday, and that's how the show's gonna end. I'm like, that sounds absolutely horrible. But I guess that's what we're doing, right? So I'm on stage, I'm doing the best that I can with 9 people in an empty, cavernous comedy club, and it's going horribly. I'm bombing, of course I am. There's no other situation. And I feel like 10 minutes is coming up, so I'm trying to wrap up my set. So I asked the birthday girl, I'm like, excuse me, are you single or are you in a relationship? And she was kind of cool before, now she's no longer cool. She's like, I don't wanna. And I was like, whoa, easy, I'm not trying to hit on you or anything, I'm just trying to get into my last joke. Are you single or are you in a relationship? She's like, I don't wanna. And then a huddle breaks out between her and her friends, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then after like a 10-second, 15-second huddle, she pops up out of the huddle like a whack-a-mole. She just pops up, looks into my eyes, and just goes, I'm a widow. And I was like, yes. And that hit me right in the soul. And as soon as she got the last W out of widow, here comes the cake. So now I'm just like, I am happy birthday to you. And that was by a mile the worst show that I've ever done. So I really appreciate you guys just being here, honestly. So much better than either of those situations.
Thursday. I love it. That is the proper energy. It just feels like, we came off work and we got here. We found parking and then we came into a building and we're like, the 3rd floor? I can figure that out. And then you had to make the decision. Are you taking the stairs or are you going to wait for that elevator? And I'm proud of you. A lot of you took the stairs. All right, I'm proud of you. But I saw you have the moment where you're like, but it's right there. I love it.
This is Grand Rapids, baby. We're in the thick of it tonight. Dr. Grins. We didn't promise laughs. Grinning. That's what we promised. Medically induced. That's what I like, a business that aims for an achievable goal. I like that. They didn't say anyone was gonna have a hernia tonight. No one's gonna lose a lung laughing. You might go. Let's go downstairs. You know? Keep it doable, but it's very nice. It's not my first time in Grand Rapids. I was here like a long time ago. Not at this club. I was at like some small theater, probably on a Thursday. It was like before we should. It was like my friends from San Diego, my comic friends, were like, "We should go on tour," and I'm like, "No one's asking for it." And they're like, "What if we just go anyway?" So like 5 of us, just to make sure we lose money, we got 5 of us together. I don't know if you know this about comedy. We usually travel by ourselves or with one other, and then we go home with whatever we have left. And we're like, "Hey, what do we do 5 to make sure this doesn't work?" 5 of us flew out to Michigan, rented a van. One of us was dumb enough to buy a branded car magnet that we had a name for the tour. I forgot what it was, like Bad Business Plan Comedy Tour. I don't remember what it was. And we slapped car magnets on the side of this rental van, and after an hour of driving, we stopped to pee, and one of the magnets had already flown off. And that's all I remember from that tour. All I remember is the magnet went down, and the driver was like, "Oh," no. He full on did this. I watched a grown adult man put both hands on his head, like, "Oh my God!" Like he just ran over a child or something. I was like, "It's a magnet, and we have the other. Like, it's okay. It's just whoever passes us on the right will still have respect for the people in the van, and the people on the other side won't. Like, wouldn't that be nice?" I like it. But yeah, we came in today. You got a very nice airport. That looks brand new. That looks like... how new is that airport?
It's new.
Half of it's new? Well, I landed on the new half. And it looked like an iPhone that you just took the peel off of. It is a shiny new airport. They got video screens everywhere. Like, whoever designed it, like, what's our budget for video screens? What's there? It's so funny because they're all for advertisements, but you don't have enough to advertise, apparently. It's like the same 3 advertisements, and one of them was for a water heater. I'm not making that up. One of them is for the local water heating company, and I'm just landing, Bob's peeing, I'm waiting by the bathroom, I look up, and they're like, "Walter and Sons, you in for a water heater?" And I'm like, "Who the hell's buying a water heater? Who's at the airport going, you know what? We really got to figure that out. How did you hear about us? Gate A. Over by the new airport, man. We had a good time. Got picked up by a very excited Uber driver. Very elderly, but very excited. You ever meet like elderly people with like a lot of energy, and you're like, what is that? That's not okay, right? Like elderly, and hey! Like he yelled, "I'm Kenneth!" from the car through his open window. His window is open. He's like a Chevy Equinox. "I'm Kenneth!" And I'm like, well, it's too late. Let's get in. And that's how the conversation went. He just talked the entire way, made a lot of lane changes without looking. Like, I don't know that he didn't look, but I also didn't see a lot of this action. There was a lot of, "Yeah, Grand Rapids is great," and I'm just like, oh boy. Ever been one of those Uber rides where you're like, well, if we die, we can't be surprised, you know? That's always my biggest fear, is getting into an accident in an Uber, because I'm in the back, I'm probably going to survive, and then that guy's probably going to die, and now I'm back there. How awkward, right? How awkward is, oh my God! Oh, he's dead. Yeah, but he was very excited. He was like so pumped about Grand Rapids. He's like, "Have you been here before?" I'm like, "Yeah, once for a second." He's like, "Buddy, this is a great town." And then he went on to say things that by just judging him by the way he looked, you should be angry about. But he was very positive. It was weird. It was off-putting. He's like, "Oh man, Grand Rapids is growing so much. A bunch of millennials are growing. come in here and there's like, it's very progressive and the town's just growing. It's amazing. And I'm looking at like gray hair coming out of his ears. And I'm like, the tone in which you're telling that news isn't like it should be like, oh, those damn millennials with their woke ideology. But he's like, isn't it wonderful? I'm like, I don't know, do you think it's wonderful? I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where you stand on all this. But yeah, we made it in. It was good. It was a long travel day, but we made it. We survived. Opening day of baseball. Love it. Any baseball people? Yeah. I love baseball. I love it because that's what America used to be. Just slow. Like, that's the reason that was America's sport, baseball, because it's like, what are there, like 1,000 games in a season? Your team could be like 0-20, and you're like, we got a chance, all right? A lot of season left, let's get it together. That was baseball, just like singing songs and eating snacks. That was America. And now it's just football. Now America feels like football, where it's like, yeah. Fire him, fire him. He just got fired. He almost lost a game. Fire him. That quarterback sucks. I want to kill that quarterback. We keep trying to fix it when the problem is the game. That's like baseball. There's no problems with baseball. The only problem with baseball, they kind of fix it. Like, it kind of takes them a long time to throw the pitch. Then we can put in a clock so they don't take so long to throw the ball, you know? And they're like, okay. And then so the game started going faster. Football, they keep trying to fix it. Like, man, these guys keep dying. How do we fix it? What if... And then we just like come up, we just don't understand that it's the game. That's the game. The game is murder ball, and we're like, man, there's a lot of murder happening in murder ball. How do we fix the game? How do we fix it? I don't think you can, I think that's the game. I think that's, what if like they're closer together during kickoffs? What if they have less distance to run at each other before spearing them with their head into the other guy's head? Yeah, we can try that. Let's try that. They're still dying. It makes no sense. It's like if the American pastime was dueling, you know? Like, how do we do it without people getting shot? And we keep trying. We're like, all right, only shots to the head. All right? Oh, wait, most of that will miss. And like, people keep dying. I know it's a dumb joke, but I already said it. That's what I thought about. Something about that. Group text. We accidentally group texted military plans. Like the wrong guy. Which, that's crazy to think that's even in a group text, man. Because politicians are like you and me. Like, they probably hate group text too. Like, I'm in like 4 group texts. I hate every time I get an alert. I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, I wonder if that's how they react. It's like, oh, I guess we're bombing the Houthis on Saturday. That's how I react to every group text I've ever got. Do they use GIFs? Are there Thinks he's hilarious. In the group text, he's funny, but in person, I'll tell you what, dry as dry can be. God, I hate group text, man. I can't imagine if it was an important one, you know? Because, like, you have one of those, and it's like, oh, the Houthis, that's important. And then you get your other group text, are we still meeting at 5? Isn't that crazy? Like, because I get so much information on this phone. Some of it's important, but most of it isn't, because I do this. Most of my texts are just like, hey, did you pay the rent? And I'm like, no. And I go over to the Bank of America app, and I pay my rent. But they're doing important stuff. So, like, I just picture being a politician and getting a text group chat about a war that might be happening, and then just getting an ad from Uber Eats, like, right on top of it. Do you ever get a text and then you want to hit the text, but then the Uber Eats, like, you look hungry, and then you accidentally, your fat thumb hits that, and then you forget about the text, now you're at Chick-fil-A, you're like, yeah, let me get a Chick-fil-A, that'll get delivered, and they're like, Zoltan, what's your thoughts on the Houthi war? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I got distracted, I was ordering some feed, that's what I was doing. Because we're all just people, you know? Even the politicians we love, even the ones we don't like, we're all just people. Like us, you ever do something so dumb and then look around and you're so happy that no one saw it? You ever do something so stupid, you do one of these and thank God, that's between me and the Lord right there. They don't have option. Someone started that group text about the Houthis. They accidentally added like a reporter, and then afterwards their way of denying it was, no! I'm like, you can't use my defense from when I was 8. That's how I defended myself when I was 8 years old. My mom's like, did you? No! It says here you did. Well, that's a lie, is what that is. I felt bad for him. I honestly did, because then they had to go to Congress and all of them just sat at the table. They're like, this is disrespectful, I can't believe it. And they're just like, well, we didn't, I don't know. Group texts are okay. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. And I don't know what the politics are in this town, and that's why it's very vague and open. According to the Uber driver, it's very progressive. And he's cool with it. And, just so you know. But yeah, even the way he said things, he's like, yeah, we got a bunch of children's hospitals here. We got one of the best children. People fly in with their sick kids, and I get to take them. Isn't that great? I'm like, yes and no. Like, it's great that it exists, and it's such a good children's hospital. You have the wrong demeanor for the information you give. You ever meet people like that? I got a buddy like that. My manager, he's like an extreme sports guy. He broke his back snowboarding, and he told me on the phone, he's like, I'm in the hospital, I can't move my neck. But he was telling me with the energy that I would tell you what I had for dinner last night. Like, let's say I went to a nice restaurant, it was a good steak, and I was like, man, that steak was amazing. He said my back's broken with a, vertebrae's 4 and 5, she's gone, man. Wow, And I'm like, why is your delivery wrong for this thing you're saying? These are the things I think about. I'm sorry. I ate a chicken sandwich before I came up here. I was very hungry. I don't know if you got the chicken sandwich. It's a fried chicken sandwich, and it's fried. It's some places are like, we fried it, and these people are like, we did it twice just to make sure. And I ate it all because that made it better for me. I love it. Are you from here? Local?
Yeah.
Grew up here? No? Where are you from? Chicago. And then you came out here to buy a house? Oh, you came for school and stayed. Love that. What did you do for school?
I went to automotive school and then coached volleyball.
That's a good mix right there. I don't know if you guys heard that. He went to automotive school, coached volleyball, and I got to tell you, you look like both of those things. I've never seen that before. You totally nailed both looks. I can see you with spark plugs just going, yeah, you gotta put it on the back of your head a little, get some head grease in there. That might be light bulbs that I just did. Remember when I said you ever say something dumb and then you look around to hear? There's a lot of people in this attic that heard, yeah, you look like you do both of those things. That's so cool. Came from Chicago. That's one of my favorite cities. I like it. I like Michigan too. I've been out to Michigan. You guys are very white. Because there's a pigment level of white that I feel like Michigan hits, where it's like I used to work cruise ships and I would see this level of white on the cruise ship, and it almost felt like it was ordered by a doctor. It was like, listen, we got to get some vitamin D, and we're sending you to the Bahamas. All right, just get down there and soak it up, and it's good. I like it. I also like how the laughter dies down. Like when it's over, it's really over. I like that. I also like this room. It is jam-packed. That can't be the capacity. Like, just come in here. I don't know. What did this building used to be? The Bob. Did it used to be something?
It was always the Bob.
It was always the Bob? This wasn't like a mill or something? Back in the day, they're always just like... Big old building. No, I got the acronym. I got that. That was the first. That's on the website. Welcome to the B.O.B. Big old building. It's like a joke written by the town dad. And people get it, but they still feel the need to be like, big old building, by the way. Which, by the way, I love dad jokes, all right? Quit picking on dads for underlining the punchline. Let them underline a punchline every now and then. I love dad jokes. Like every time I'm boarding a flight and I'm on the jetway, one time I was with my wife and the dude with the earmuffs comes from downstairs and he came up and I was like, he just came up from checking the oil. You know, just a fun little. Yeah, she didn't laugh either, but those are fun little dad jokes that I enjoy. I like the laughs in this room because they are there, and then there's just a little top layer of judgment, and I like it. It is. Do you feel it? You know, it's like someone just lacquered their deck, and they're like, "Is it nice?" It's a little slippery, but it's here. What did you say?
No GR.
No GR?
No. No GR all the way.
I like how you're using code like I live here. No GR. What, Grand Rapids?
Yes.
No GR.
Go.
Cole? Go GR. Oh, I see. All right, now I get it. All right. Go Grand Rapids, which means you guys have a little judgment. I like it. I feel like that's all of this part of the country, like Wisconsin, Minneapolis, like all of these states up here. You guys are like, welcome. There's a little, you know what I mean? Oh no, yeah. The more the merrier. It's a little, I'm like, what's that? It is the Midwest, but to be honest with you, guys are nicer about it. I think every place has that. It's just some people are more open about it. Like you go to some parts of the country, like, get the hell out of here! And here your way is going, the meaning's the same. We're all that way. I don't like it. Like I live in Southern California. You know who we don't like? People from Arizona. That's what we don't like. And you know why? It's because they come to San Diego in the summertime because it's too hot over there. In Arizona, it's too hot, and so they come to use our beach. And you just see a bunch of Arizona license plates just clogging up the road. Bunch of zoning. Go back to your hellscape! You know, that's what we yell at them. And they are who we are. A lot of them are San Diegans that moved out there so they could buy a house. But once they got their, Arizona tags, we're like, get out of here.
Hello, this is Zoltan Kaszas, and the year is 2025. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing? If you were just sent in from the past to the future, and this is how you're finding out the year, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. What the hell am I talking about? The point of this is I am on tour all year. It's what I do. A bunch of cities. I'm very excited to hit them all. If you'd like to see if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. There also might be a link in this video, maybe right over my eyes. I don't know what the editor is going to do with this. It could be in the description, what have you. But if it's not, zoltancomedy.com. Hit the shows tab, go down the list of shows, see if I'm coming to a town near you, and come see me so I can continue being a comedian and I don't have to go get a job where I'm a horrible employee. I've been told many times by numerous bosses. So please come out and see me and keep the dream alive.
So much for coming out. This is wonderful. This is it's a lot of people in a place, and I usually work smaller places. So this is all new for me. You guys are so low. I'm too up high. That's the main issue. It's gonna be weird when I'm back there, and you're like, he's not that tall. I'll tell you right now, 5'9", and maybe less, but. That's what it says on my driver's license, but they didn't measure, all right? And they're like, how tall? I'm like, 5'9". They're like, sure. And we went with that. But this is wonderful. I love it. This is my first time here at the Oriental Theater. They recently remodeled, obviously. The owner mentioned that to me. He's like, we just remodeled. It's like, oh, all right. Well, wow. Into it, all right? It's my first time, so I don't have what to compare it to, you know? But I love it. I like it. I like this old feel. I like those windows, like those old boots. Like I wish I had more of a production, you know? Like, I wish I had a punchline, and I had like a punchline about like an eagle, and then like a Muppet eagle would come out. And you're like, oh, the show was so interactive. That's the weird thing about, like, I think my comedy belongs in a small venue, because, like, hey, small, you're and I'm like, and then, but this is too big. I feel like there needs to be more. It's just me, you know? I need fireworks or like dancers in the back, just kind of dancing to no music, just my comedy. But I like it. We're gonna figure it out. Next year, I'm bringing puppets, and it's gonna be a whole ensemble. Thank you guys for coming out. I know a lot of people couldn't make it because of the snow, and they were like, "Is the show canceled? Are we doing it?" And I'm like, "I'm here," you know. That's the other weird part of doing this. Like, I have to realize that I'm in charge. I don't know that, you know? Like, last night, I've posted all day. I'm like, oh, I'm going to Denver tomorrow. Shows are sold out. Super pumped. And then people are like, there's a huge snowstorm. I was just reading the comments. People were showing me. Some guy put, like, screenshots of just every major road headed to Denver, and it was all red and closed. And I'm like, that's not good. I don't live in Denver. I'm assuming one of those is from the airport. None of that's good. And Google doesn't help. You Google, can I fly into Denver tomorrow? And they're like, your flight's still going. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean it's good. You know, like, I got to the airport this morning, and my wife Emma's like, is it happening? And I'm like, yeah, I guess we're getting on. We'll see if we land, you know? We'll see when we get to that last part, and they're like, we're going to Salt Lake now. That's where we're going. And then I was supposed to rent a car, and then I looked out the window of the plane, and I'm like, I'm not driving in that. Because I grew up in San Diego, I don't drive in snow. If this was San Diego, we would cancel it for the rain. Like, that's where I grew up. That's why people were like, is the show happening? And I'm like, am I in charge? And they're like, you're in charge. And I'm like, I shouldn't be in charge. That's how I do it. Like, if there's bad weather, I'll just keep going until transportation says I can't go anymore. That's my mentality. I'm like, well, I'll go to the airport, we'll see what happens. Oh my God, we landed. All right. Well, guess I'll get an Uber. Whoa. I guess this is happening. All right. Like, there's not some magical team, you know? There's like weather metadata people going, oh yeah, there's frost coming in. No, there's none of that. I'm surprised I'm alive. Just because I remember one time I did a show in Florence, Oregon, which is on the coast, and it was just regular weather. It was like raining a little. And then my next show was in Bend, Oregon, which is up in the mountain. It's a mountain. You have to go up a mountain. I didn't know that. And I just get in a rented Nissan Versa. Not a good car, by the way. That's a car for good weather. That's not for anything. That's not even even if it was just good weather but uphill, still not a good car. But it was a rented Nissan Versa, and I had a 4-hour drive up to Bend, Oregon. I think it was 4 hours. And it slowly started to snow. And then there were signs that says, make sure you have chains if you're headed that way. And I'm like, I'm certain I don't have that. But I treated it like I treated this. I'm like, well, let's just see how far we can get. And then I just kept going. And then more snow and more signs like, we're serious. Like, you should have chains. And I'm like, still don't have chains. And then there was less and less cars on the road. And I'm like, oh, we're really getting in there now. And then I looked and I lost cell service. I'm like, oh, we can't even call anybody. And I looked down, I'm wearing board shorts. I'm wearing board shorts because I'm a loser from San Diego. That's just like, it's probably fine. And this was around the time, this is how long ago that story was. Remember that Malaysian airline that just disappeared? This was like a month after that. And I'm like, I'm going to be that airline. I'm gonna like hit some ice and then off into it. They're not gonna find me till the spring. You know, it's gonna thaw out. They're like, oh, there he is right there. I remember I rented that car on my mom's credit card too. I'm really glad I made it for her sake. I don't know if her Visa would have swung a Nissan Versa. But that's how much planning goes into all of this. It's not that much. I just keep going until they're like, hey, I guess we're doing the show. That happened over 10 years ago, but I'm still that same mentality. I'm like, oh, we'll see when we get there, you know? Like, I had a rental car set up for me when I landed in Denver, and then we landed, I looked out the window of the plane, I'm like, I'm not driving in any of that. I'm not ready to learn. That's not how I'm ready to learn. So I got an Uber, and I thought about getting an Uber XXL Black. Like, I wanted the biggest, safest. I was like, I'll get the Escalade with like the tank wheels in the back or something. That's what I was hoping for. I want the safest thing. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't care what it costs. It's about my safety. I don't want to die out here. And then I looked it up, and it was $180. And I'm like, all right, well, what else is there? That's how I ranked I thought my life had value to me until I was like, well, 108, come on now. What have I really done with my life? Let's calm down. And I scrolled to just a regular Uber XL, and I was like, that'll be good. And I got a Toyota Highlander, which is a good car. And I was hoping the driver would just be a mountain man, you know, just coming out, just covered in big birds coming out of his beard, just like, I was born in the snow. I was raised by wolves, dude. I'm only good at driving in the snow. It's when it's dry that I get bad. And that is not the driver I got. I got a driver who's like, I just moved to Denver. And I'm like, oh God. And then he pulls away, he's like, snow. Ooh. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I should have just taken a shot at it. Yeah, that's how I treat everything, you know. I should be more adult and be like, oh, is this planned? Is that ready? And I'm not at all. Not at all. Even on a week like this was a crazy, crazy week. Like, it was a wild week. I went to the dentist, you know? And I wore shorts to the dentist again. It's a mistake I've made in the past, and I've done it. You ever do that? You ever like, oh, it's hot in New York this week. It was like 75, and I'm like, oh, I'll wear shorts. And then I've done it so many times where I end up at the dentist, and then you're in that weird seat, and you're just facing your bare knees and thighs, and you're like, you look around, and you're like, I think this is disrespectful to the dentist. That guy comes in fully clothed, he's got a lab jacket on, his assistant's all dressed up in a smock, and they got all this equipment. They put a vest on me so they can x-ray, and then just like my little leg hairs are just in the breeze of the air conditioning, just kind of dancing around. And I'm like, why'd you wear shorts? But I want to be a tougher guy. I was watching a Liam Neeson movie, and I haven't watched all of them, but I watched the one on the plane. It's called Nonstop. Have you watched that? By the way, I'm bringing up a movie that is not new. I believe this movie came out in 2014, but we watched it on Wednesday. But he's an air marshal on a plane, and then there's like a terrorist on the plane. And the movie should be called Liam Neeson Won't Take His Seat, because he will not. Everyone's begging him, please sit down, Liam Neeson. And he's like, I must protect this flag. And I don't know if they intended to make the movie this way, but he made the situation worse. Like, the first guy died, and he's like, I'm gonna protect everyone on this plane. And they're like, will you please sit down? And then another guy died. And then there was a mutiny against him, and he was like, I promise everyone will have free international flights. And I'm like, that's a lie. But I want to be a Liam Neeson. Just kind of, you make the situation. I want to be like an 80s action movie cop where, like, you save the girl, but the town is burned to the ground. And you're like, I got the cat out of the tree. Yeah, but Nana's dead. And you're like, well, shouldn't have been holding on to the cat, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I'm into those movies. Like, I recently got, I don't know what this movie was. I've been watching I'm on my second John Wick movie because I fly a lot. Delta's like, you want to watch these. And so I watched the first one and I'm like, yeah, and the second one. And now it's the second one. And I'm like, eventually you got to go to therapy. Like the first one made sense. His wife passed away, he's a widow, they stole his dog, they killed his dog, stole his car. Yeah, you're gonna kill some people, I get that. I don't think there's a court that would prosecute that. That's perfectly fine. But the second, and then they made 4? Come on, buddy. That's my favorite move, is this one. I like, and then this guy goes flying. Because I was on a flight and I had to grab my luggage off this way because these people wouldn't let me in. And I pulled it off this way and my shoulder still hurts. And that was what, a 30-pound bag at the most? Old ass Keanu Reeves. I should stop doing the example. Even the example hurts. Yeah, we went to Amsterdam, that's what we did. I had never been out there. Anyone been to Amsterdam? Clap it up, people. Denver feels like an Amsterdam-y type of trip. That's why I like Denver. Denver, like all the people like my age and younger, everyone in this town feels like you always have something else going on. You know, like even coming into this venue, everyone that worked here was like, hey, I do the sound, but you know, I got something else to get to. And they're all helpful. They're very good at their jobs, but even the lady that worked at my hotel, she's like, yeah, I'll get you checked in. And then she just looks like she's busy with a side project. Like she's making cookies in the back that she's selling at the fair, you know. Like, everyone looks like they got something else going on, which I like. Because I know Amsterdam, that's where people go after college. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm going to backpack through Europe. And I'm doing everything later, so I'm not as fun. People are like, oh, did you go do this and that? No, we didn't do any. We drank wine on a bench. And stared at a canal. That was my favorite part of the entire trip. I was drinking wine out of a bottle with my wife while we stared at a canal. My joy is pretty much what's portrayed in a painting. Like, you go to a museum and you just see some guy looking at a pond, and I'm like, that looks like a hell of an afternoon. That's where my level of not fun is. But yeah, we had a great time in Amsterdam. Everyone's tall and beautiful. Good Lord, it makes no sense. Everyone's 6'5", gorgeous, on bikes. Everyone's on a bike, just no helmets. Everyone's got all their teeth. It just looks like it should be a disaster, and there's never just bring, just zipping by. So many bikes. Everyone's tall, but all the ceilings are low and staircases are narrow, and the shoes are made of wood. Like it doesn't look like these tall people were from there. Do you know what I mean? It looks like it was a town built by gnomes, and then giants came by and went, get out of here, you damn gnomes. This is our house now. But the stairs are too small. It's weird. Amsterdam's a weird place because it's a lot of like prostitution's legal there. They have drugs and all that sort of stuff. But then the Anne Frank Museum is there, so it's like a weird juxtaposition. So we went to the Anne Frank house, and honestly, not a good museum. Not her story. Her story is amazing. The museum. I'm a museum fan, and her museum sucks. All right, it's a disgrace to Anne Frank and what her and her family went through. That should be a better, and it's not. It's her house, and they let too many people in, and so now you're just with all these people, and you're trying to. It just feels like you're at a crowded open house. That's what it feels like. Everyone's just walking around like, oh, that's where right there. And I'm like, this should be a better museum. I'm a museum fan. I love going to museums. I like to look. I stare. And then I'm like, yeah, I want to be in that pond, that I see. Like, we went to the Van Gogh Museum. It was beautiful. A lot of room. They didn't let too many people in. You could enjoy the art. And then someone would come in, take a photo of the art, which I never understood. Like, someone took a selfie with the art. And I'm like, get your greasy face out of that masterpiece. Isn't that like the next level of like being so into yourself? You just see a Van Gogh painting or anyone else, Rembrandt, whoever, and then you're like, man, that's beautiful. I'm like, what are you doing? Get your greasy face out of that photo. It's disrespectful. It's like me wearing shorts to the dentist. That's not okay. We all need to be better. But yeah, enjoyed. Had a good time in Amsterdam. We're moving back to San Diego. That's what we're doing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. 3 people that were like, I don't care where you live, but that's fine. Thank you for telling us. I appreciate you clapping. Did you feel peer pressured into that? You're like, no, I'm part of his life. Oh, thank you for being happy for me. What a sweet man you are. I appreciate that. We're moving back. My wife hates New York, and I like it, and we're moving back because that's how that works. She's like, you hate New York too, and I'm like, no, I don't. I like it a lot. And she goes, well. Like, she feels so guilty that we're moving back to San Diego because she doesn't like New York, but I'm like, I'm on the road all the time anyway. So I'm like, I'm keeping you prisoner in a city you hate while I'm going off to see if the show in Denver is going to happen or not. And then you're still there, you know? So I'm like, no, this is fair. We're going to go back. But she wants to make herself feel better. So she's like, but you hate New York. And I'm like, I don't. And she's like, but you do. So she tries to point out times that I'm unhappy, which everyone's unhappy in whatever city you live at any moment, anytime, anyway. You know, like that's just how it works. Like we were walking down the street and there was like a guy in front of us, and everyone in New York walks quickly because everyone's miserable. The town is, misery keeps things moving. Like angry people are like, oh, let's get the hell out of here. You keep a steady pace. But have you ever been stuck behind someone in bliss? That's where we were at. We were stuck behind a guy, I guess he talked to his crush that day or something, and he was just floating, and he was taking up the sidewalk, and I'm behind him like, dude, get sad or move over, you know? And my wife was like, see, you hate it. And I'm like, no, that's not enough reason. So, we're moving back. We're going to get a car again. I haven't owned a car in the short time we've lived in New York, which is nice. So now we're trying to share a car. Have you ever tried to buy a car with your spouse that it's for both of you? It's like, I've never realized it, but that's like going to the mall and trying to share a pair of jeans. It's like, well, we got to get a pair where both of our butts look good in them, otherwise it's not gonna happen. We just want different things. I want like a Toyota 4Runner, and she wants like an Audi something, Q something. But we're going to compromise, which means we're just going to be sad in a Mazda. That's what a compromise. That should be a Mazda car commercial. It's just a couple sitting there like... I wanted a 4Runner, she wanted an Audi. Zoom, zoom. I guess. Here we are in this thing.
Look at you, you finished a YouTube video. I'm proud of you. You know, I normally don't finish YouTube videos. I watch 30 seconds, then I'm on to something else, then I grab something to eat, but not you. You're not a quitter, and I appreciate that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and also go to zoltancomedy.com and see where I'm performing. Come see me live. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm in a rental car. This is where I live. Hotels, rental cars, highways, byways, planes, trains, and automobiles. This is supposed to be a short video. Thank you for watching. ZoltanComedy.com.
It's so good to be here. I just did a show in Everett last night. Everett, pretty far up there. Did someone just say Everett sucks? Oh, all right, wow. All right, wow, it was pretty aggressive. All right. It's pretty aggressive, Centralia. All right, why don't you? Everett sucks. And listen, you probably have a good reason for saying that. It's just I didn't expect it. I didn't know. Out of all the cities in Washington, I wouldn't have guessed that Everett was the one where... Don't say Everett around these parts, all right? They got a mayor who likes soccer, and we don't care for that. Why do you hate Everett? I'm interested to know. It's north of Olympia. That is... That has to be the most small-town statement I've ever heard in my entire life. Why do you hate this city? Because it's north of this other city, all right? We don't go past the Mason-Dixon line, all right? Anything south of Mason-Dixon is home. Oh man, that was the best answer ever. I thought you were gonna say you got a speeding ticket or something, or someone stole your identity, and you're like, no, it's north of Olympia. I'm gonna say that from now on. I'm gonna say it where it doesn't make sense, you know? Next time I'm in Everett, I'm gonna be like, Everett sucks. I'm like, what? North of Olympia, dude. You know, yeah. Maybe if your longitude and latitude was different, you know, we could come back, circle back. You're judging me pretty hard, and I don't appreciate that. Everyone's laughing, we're having a good time. Apparently someone owns property in Everett over here. They're like, how dare you? I own a condo in Everett. I don't appreciate that. It's nice. I love this setup. This feels good. This feels like the kind of venue this town had. Like, this makes sense. Can't you feel it? Like, you can feel it. You can feel it. Train station, right there. Like, you can feel it. Like, this is the closest I've ever performed to a train station. And I love it. I've been to this town. I've traveled out of that train station a bunch of times. That's the only train station I've ever been to that has a picture of a train crash. Which, talk about things you don't see at an airport, you know? Like, hey, you want to see when this didn't work out? Just like the Wright brothers in a tree and on fire, like, and over there they're like, yeah, a train crashed here once. Like, don't tell me this. I don't want to know that. I have a ticket, you know? So I asked everyone to put their microphones on so I could hear the laughter. That is a train. Let's let it pass. What's that? It's a couple minutes off schedule? Is that what you just... Are you the conductor? Oh, it's a couple minutes away. Oh, man. Are we in the movie Stand By Me right now? Like, I feel like you just put your ear to the rail and you're like, it's the southbound train headed to Portland. It's about 3 clicks due east. All right, it'll be here. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Get your tickets ready. I didn't know I knew all those words I just said. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what most of them meant. 2 clicks due east, I think I heard that in a war movie. Definitely don't know what it means. Does the train suck, or where it's coming from sucks? That train's coming from north of Olympia, that son of a bitch. We're gonna boo it as we go by. Boo! There's a bunch of Everetters up there. Those highfalutin Everetters coming down with their tote bags and their straw hats. We're not a fan of them. What am I talking about? I have no idea. I'm just saying words in a comedic cadence. That's what I do. Thanks so much for watching my dumb video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and other than that, come to my shows. These aren't the only ones I have. Go to zoltancomedy.com for all of them. Now watch the rest of my videos, and don't skip the ads, so, you know, I can pay my rent. I didn't do much today. I was watching that show on Netflix, Love on a Spectrum. You like that? Love on the Spectrum? Yeah, it's where the autistic people date. It's adorable. There's a spin-off on that. It's the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Those two belong together. One dresses like a pirate, the other likes taking a dump in a bed. Like, they're on the show, I think. I think they're on the show more than they know. I don't know if you guys have been watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I've been watching every day, every episode. I think they're getting back together. Sometimes people are perfectly toxic for each other, and that's who they are. They're perfectly insane for each other. One's suing the other one for $50 million. The other one's like, I'll sue you for $100 million. And it's like, you guys belong together. You ever had a friend in a toxic relationship? You try to get him out. He's like, I gotta get my TV back. And you're like, no, we'll get other TVs. Like, that was my grandmother's television. That's what they're like. They just belong together. One dresses like a pirate, the other one takes a dump in a bed. Who would enjoy a dump in the bed? Except someone who dresses like a pirate. It makes perfect sense. I don't know, they belong together. Just one needs to go to AA and the other one needs to get a litter box. And I think they can figure out their issues. I don't know. I do like that show, Love on a Spectrum. It's very sweet and it's just funny, but you're not laughing at them. It's like a warm kind of laugh where you're like, this is just a fun show and it makes you feel good, like the way the Andy Griffith Show used to make you feel when you were a kid. You're just whistling and there's no song playing and you're like, hell yeah, this feels good. But if you watch enough of Love on the Spectrum, you sit there and you're like, am I? Like, if you watch enough, you're like, I've also had awkward first dates. Like, I've also gotten stumped and just went, well, what is your favorite color? Because you've never been on a weird first date? Like, we've all had a little bit, you know? I'm sorry, everyone's Rico Suave in this audience. Like, no. We're usually finger banging before the desserts show up. Everyone's got a little bit of it. I also watch Murder. I either watch Love on the Spectrum or Murder. Those are the two things I like on Netflix. I like the serial killers on Netflix. I don't know if you guys watch the serial killers. I loved it. I just watched the John Wayne Gacy one, who was so good. I know it's a weird thing to say about someone who killed a lot of people, but it was so good. It's fascinating. It's amazing. Like, he couldn't have gotten away with that today. He was able to lure young men over to his house because he had a pool table and some weed. Like, that wouldn't work today. You can't go up to some 19-year-old, you want to come over? I have a pool table and some marijuana. Like, what? I have a smartphone and I'm microdosing on shrooms as we speak. I don't think you have anything to offer me. John Wayne Gacy couldn't make a friend today, like, if he wanted to. He was perfect for then, you know? It's kind of sad because I watch all the murder documentaries and we're running out of serial killers. We're running out. We need more, you know? That's like, serial killers are a past thing. That's 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We don't have them anymore. We have mass shooters now, which that's not a documentary. There's no story, you know? Mass shooters are a perfect assessment of today's society. Everyone wants to be famous, but no one wants to do the work. You know what I mean? Like, anybody can kill 50 people at once. That's protected by the Constitution. Try killing 50 people over 10 years while getting away with it, then you get the documentary. John Wayne Gacy has a documentary. He had to be charming. He got a pool table. He had to learn magic. What documentary do you make about a mass shooter? He didn't blink a lot. And then the UPS driver delivered the gun. And you're like, this is lame. Because they are lame.